Nuggets, welcome back to my channel, and as you can tell, it's a new tutorial on ibispaint as you've been asking me to do for a while. I have been doing all those hairstyles that you did want me to do, like curly hair and more straight hairstyles and all those different hairstyles that you wanted me to do really simple on in a video, and I was trying to do that but it just failed, and I decided to just do a simple bun instead, and that actually kind of worked out with the method I was using with the other hairstyles. And basically this is kind of like an updated video, so just make sure that you have a new layer, and the brush that I'm using is called the Fan Brush Real, and you can use whatever color you want. It can be black, brown, but I will show you at the end how to change your hair color if you don't want it the way you started off with. So I chose this brush because it has light to dark, like dark in the middle and it's light at the sides, so you have full control of how you want the brush to be, and plus you can put the opacity down of the brush. That setting on the side, if you don't know, basically I did this part a lot, and as you will see me always change it up, so I don't want people in the comments like, you make this look so easy. Yes, I do that on purpose so you don't find it that difficult, but this part was actually kind of hard to do because I was trying to get some edges in whilst doing the hairline, and edges is kind of difficult to do on ibispaint with the brush selections that you have on it. So I tried, and I will try to explain how you can do that. So as I started over, what I was trying to do is basically to get the edges in as I was drawing in the hairline, is I was curving in the brush and then filling out the rest. And what I was planning to do after that is use the smudging tool to smudge out the edges a little bit so it doesn't look too blocky and too dark, because your edges cannot be dark in the front. It has to be a little bit faded out, and then obviously the rest is darker. I always tell people, don't make your edges look really dark because that is not natural and it just doesn't look good in general. So as you can see, as I was filling everything else in, you can see that it looked like it was coming together, but the edges was a bit too close together on the other side, so I started over again to get it perfectly done. But basically I was still doing the same thing. I was curving it out, filling it in the sides, and then actually doing everything in sections as you saw me do it before. And now I'm just gonna fast forward the video where I actually get the hair right. I forgot to mention about the clipping mask I'm using to keep the hair in the actual head, but I end up removing it because when you merge all the layers down, it's not really helpful when you're doing the detailing that I'm going to explain after actually drawing the bun of the hair. So I'm doing the hair the same way I started off doing it at first, which was annoying for me when I was doing this. So I was doing that, trying to recreate a cute hairline, and then I started doing the curving method, trying to get some edges in and also making sure it was okay. And I did that by drawing the bun. So with the bun I did it with the same brush and just using swirling motions, and just the bun can look however you want it to look. So and if the hairline looks alright with the way you did the edges, then you can move on to actually adding some detail, which is what I did. So as you can see how I did the edges, I'm curving it in sections a little bit and not in one little swoop, then it looks kind of weird. So yeah, I hope that made sense. So now I'm doing a new layer to draw in the bun and just make sure that the hairline makes sense with the edges the way I did it and all. And I know I said do not put in a clipping mask because you see me do it in the video, but right now I suggest that you do, just so you can check while drawing the bun and see everything is okay, and if it is, then you can just unclip it and erase the excess stuff off, and then move on to the next step, which is adding the detail on the hair and the bun. So once you think everything looks fine, the bun layer, you're going to make it invisible and unclip the hairline layer and start erasing all the excess, carefully making sure that your Avi's head isn't showing a little bit, because when you're changing the hair colors you are going to see it and it's going to kind of be annoying. But you can fix that and just go on your Avi layer and just erase that a little bit. But when you're doing a wig, you just want to be really careful with that mistake, because then it's going to happen to everyone else who wears your wig. For the people that is kind of confused at this point, like what I did, basically I just lowered down the opacity of that hair layer so I can see my Avi's head and remove the excess off neatly and easier. Also, I'm going to be going on my Avi's layer so I can remove the hair that is still kind of showing near her ears and just have a clean looking hairstyle on my Avi's head. And you should do the same thing if you've got the same thing going on with your Avi right now. So you're gonna put the opacity back and you're gonna just check the hair a little bit, and if you see some little bumps on the side or at the top, you're just gonna fix that a little bit, make it as round as possible. And if your Avi head pops out a little bit, you can just fix it like I said before. And then you're gonna make a new layer on top of that hair base, and that's gonna be a clipping mask, so you're not doing too much erasing. So the next brush that you're going to be using is called the flat watercolor brush, and it's in this setting opaque, I think I said it right. And you're going to use a lighter color than the color you used before, and you're just going to put it in the same shape and form that your hairline is in, and as close to the hairline as possible. Don't be like me, but if you were like me, it's fine, that can be fixed. We're going to be using the airbrush version of the eraser to airbrush out the hairline, the detail of the hair. And at the end, after I've done everything, I'm going to be using the smudging tool and bringing in the detail more forward into the hairline, because it will go back a little bit from using the eraser. So once you've done the hair base, you're going to do the same thing with the bun, and this one is way more easier, but you do want to put the eraser down a little bit so you're not fading out the whole hair in the middle, just on the sides. And then we're going to smudge out the hairline in a bit. I think that's what I did, but you can also do that after, like shading it in, adding more detail and stuff like that. So now I'm back on the hair base detail and I'm smudging it out. So I'm going to zoom into the size of my smudge tool at the moment, and just be careful so it's not too blurred out at the front. You just want it to, you're just trying to bring the hair detail forward like I've been saying. And yeah, don't do too much to the point you've blurred out the detail completely. Try to smudge forward and backwards at the back of the hair like you see at the moment too. So now you see me going on my Avi's layer and removing the black bits on the side of her ear by smudging it out and just making everything look neat. If you're following the video at the moment, I would love to see your results, so make sure to send it to me on IG at itsbabygirlshay. It would also be in the description what my IG name is, and I would love to see how it looked like at the end. And in general, anyone else who sends me their wigs or repaints, I love seeing them and helping you out and making sure that my tutorial made sense to all of you. So yeah, now I'm going to be adding darker colors to add more definition into the detail of the hair. So I'm going to be using the dip pen hard brush and a darker color than the one I used before. Also, don't make the mistake I did. Make sure the layer is under the bun layer and on top of the detail layer. You will see when I put the layer down to where it should be. Also, make sure it's a clipping mask so you're not erasing outside of the hair. So now I'm using the smudging tool to smudge out the colour to the side and to the front, and that's how I'm adding detail onto the hair, and I'm going to be doing the same thing with the bun. Then I'm just going to be adding highlights with the dip pen hard brush. Never use a soft brush to do highlights because it will look all blurry and not sharp on your Avi's hair, so yeah, always remember that. Just in case you get confused, you do not have to make a new layer. You just have to control the size of the smudging tool and smudge it correctly on the hair, and then you're going to be creating a new layer, but it will be on top of the bun layer. So now you're going to be repeating the same steps on the bun. Create a new layer, make sure you're not clashing it together with the detailing, and I mean the lighter shade of the hair, so remember that, and making sure you don't get confused. And also make sure it's a clipping mask so you don't have to clean the sides up. Now this is the easier part and also the last part of the tutorial, and it's the highlight. So you can stop watching the video now if you have a preference on how you want to do your highlights, but if you don't, then you can keep watching. So As you can see, I put the mode add, and I'm going to be picking the lightest color that is on the hair, and then I use the dip pen hard brush, and I have a skinny line going on the side of the hair, and I'm going to be using the blur tool to just blur it out, and I'm going to keep doing that until it's nicely blurred in there. And when you zoom out a little bit, you can see how shiny it is on that one side where you put the highlight. So yeah, make sure that you're not that person that uses white for highlights on the hair, and try to make sure that the highlight is not too much is not that saturated than the color on your Abby's hair. Like mine was a bit too gold, and it was supposed to be more lighter than that, but I still made it work. It still was alright, it didn't matter. But when you change the color of the hair that you want it to be in, you can see the difference, and you might want to go back and make sure that you fix that just by going undo, because after all of this you might want to merge all of that down, and I will be showing you how to merge your layers down with the clipping mask, because I know I've done the mistake of merging them all down at once and it didn't go right, and you would panic like, oh my god, I did something wrong. But no, you just gotta do it at a time, so I will explain that soon. So when you're done doing the highlights, you want to merge down all your layers, as you can see the mistake that I did. So don't do what I did. What you want to do is on that bun layer, merge down all of its clipping mask layers, and then that layer, and then you can put the bun together with that hair base. So after that, I'm going to be showing you how to change the color of your Abby's hair. So to change the color, you go on filter, then adjust color, and go on the hue, saturation, lightness settings, and you can change the lightness of it, the saturation, making it warmer or cooler, or changing the whole color and by using the hue settings. And that's how you do it, really simple. Or you can use color balance, but that's way more different. It just changes like the highlights, the color of it, and stuff like that. And now I'm gonna show you how you can change your hairline a little bit, like make it more natural in the front, and controlling the smudging tool so you're not removing the detail of the brush that you used to do the hairline. So when you first use the smudging tool on the hairline, it does take a big chunk of it away. You just gotta be really careful and precise, making sure you change the size a little bit, and just keep playing around with the hairline, making sure that it doesn't remove too much detail, like I said before. I am coming closer to the end of my tutorial. I really hope I've been really helpful so far with my voiceover, and as always, you can ask me questions in the comments. Make sure it's really understandable for me so I can really help you out. And yeah, if you like this video, please give it a like, and if you're new to my channel, please subscribe and turn on post notifications. I'm also going to be starting a Discord really soon. I'm just setting it all up, and it's just going to be where all of you can like talk to me on at once, especially about the same thing with the editing questions and giving you tips. It really makes it easier on me, because I know all the time I can't reply as much as you would want me to when you do message me about stuff like that, or just want to talk to me in general. Making my server at the moment, and I'm gonna be really happy to tell you what it is so you can join it, and I can help you out better when everyone at once in a group talking about their difficulties in editing, and I can leave on tips as well. So I really like that. And yeah, I hope that you really like this video, and I'll see you in my next one.